Hello students, welcome back to the class of Basic Electrical Engineering. It's Unit 5 DC Circuits. This is the syllabus of Unit 5. This will be the lecture 1 for Unit 5. Under this lecture, we will try to cover this much portion of the syllabus. Classification of electrical network, energy sources, ideal and practical voltage source, ideal and practical current source, and simplification of network using series and parallel combination. Then numerical based on the above. Okay, let's get started with the first content. What is network terminology? Before going to see the very first point of the syllabus, let us see some basics for this particular unit. What do you mean by network? It is an arrangement of various electrical energy sources along with the different circuit elements. This is called as electrical network. You can see here, this is an example of electrical network. There are various elements: resistance 1, 2, 3, voltage source, current source. All of them are connected in a passion, making a closed loop. Such combination, such passion is called as network. It is an arrangement of various electrical energy sources. There might be voltage source, there might be current source with the different circuit elements. These are the circuit elements. Under DC circuit, the circuit elements are only resistances. There will not be any inductor, there will not be any capacitor for your syllabus. And also the current sources, the numerical based on current sources are very rare. The numerical will be mostly based on the voltage sources. Okay. The next point is network element. What is network element? It is any individual circuit element with the two terminal which can be connected to other circuit element is called as network element. What does it mean? Resistance R1, resistance R2, resistance R3. These are the network elements. Voltage source V1, current source I1. These are also network element which has two terminals. For example, this resistance R1 has two terminals A, B. These two terminals can be connected to other circuit element. This is connected to where? This is connected to this voltage source, connected to this resistance 2, connected to this resistance 3. Right? So, any individual circuit element with the two terminal which can be connected to other circuit element. So, this is called as the network element. The next important definition is branch. What is branch? It is a part of the network which connects the various points of the network with one another. What is a branch? For example, here AB is one branch, BC is one branch, CD is one branch, BE is one branch, ANF is one branch. It is a part of this particular network. This part is connecting the various points in the network. As I said, this part is connected to BE, this part is connected to BC, this part is connected to AF. Right? So these are called as the branches. Next is loop or mesh. Loop or mesh. There is difference between loop and mesh. Firstly, see what is loop. Loop is a closed path in a circuit. What is loop? Loop is a closed path in circuit. For electrical circuit, it is very important that the circuit should be closed one. Unless and until the circuit is not closed, current cannot flow through the circuit. The circuit must be closed one. So what is loop? It is a closed path in electrical circuit. In this particular example, in this particular network, what are the different closed loop? A, B, E, F, A. This is one loop. B, C, D, E, B. This is another loop. Are you getting what is loop? We have to use this word frequently. Loop. What is loop? It is a closed path in a circuit. Are you getting? Now what is mesh? Mesh is also a closed loop. Mesh is also a closed loop. Here A, B, C, D, E, F. A. This is also a closed loop. Right? This is also a closed loop. But see, if we remove this branch B, E, whether it is closed or open, again this is closed. See, if I remove this branch B, E, then also this loop is a closed loop. Such a loop is called as mesh. But this loop cannot be called as a loop. This closed path cannot be called as a loop if this branch is removed. For a loop, it is important that, or it is necessary, when any branch of the circuit is removed, it shouldn't be a closed path. It shouldn't be a closed path. So in an example, when we are solving numericals, we have to identify first the number of loops, not the mesh. For your syllabus, the loop is important. So what is loop? It is a closed path in a circuit. It is a closed path in a circuit such that if any branch is open circuited, the circuit shouldn't be a closed path. Right? Therefore, A, B, C, D, E, F, A is not a closed loop. Is not a loop. Because if we remove this branch B, E, again this is making a closed path. And this is not fulfilling the condition of this loop. Therefore, there are only 2 loops, but there are 3 mesh. There are 2 loops, there are 3 mesh. This is the difference between loop and mesh. Hope you understood this network terminology. Next is classification of electrical network. How the electrical networks are classified? These are classified under 4 categories. The very first category is active and passive network, linear, non-linear network, unilateral, bilateral network, and the last one is lumped and distributed network. What is active and passive network? Active means a circuit which contains at least one energy source. Such a network is called as active network. The energy source may be voltage source or current source. For example, you can see this network terminology. This network, right? Here there is one voltage source and one current source. There are 2 sources. When the circuit is having energy source, such a network is called as active network. Okay, then what will be passive network? It will be a circuit which contains no energy source. See, this is a circuit. In this only 3 circuit elements are there, R1, R2 and R3. There is no voltage source, there is no current source. Such a network, such a circuit is called as passive network. Getting? Next point. What is a unilateral and bilateral circuit? Uni means what? Single directional. Unidirectional. Bi means both directional. Okay. So, in a unilateral circuit, the behavior or the property, the behavior of the circuit as a whole changes when its direction of operation is reversed. What does it mean? There are circuit elements. For example, here in your syllabus, resistance is only element which we are going to deal with. Okay. So, resistance. Resistance is bidirectional. We can change the direction of current flowing through it. Okay. So, resistance can't be a unidirectional. Right. But there are devices called such as a diode. Do you know diode? What is diode? Diode is a device which conducts when it is forward biased only. When we give positive to anode, negative to cathode, then only the diode is working. The diode is conducting. What happens when negative is given to anode and positive is given to cathode? It will be reversed back. It will be open circuited. So, such a device, such a circuit containing a circuit element like a diode, such a circuit is called as unilateral circuit. Such a circuit is called as unilateral circuit. So what will be bilateral circuit? In a bilateral circuit, the property of circuit as a whole are same in either of the direction. Means the circuit element will have the property, will have the behavior. When the supply is reversed, then also they work same as they have worked in the reversed direction. Resistor is one of the example. Inductor is also one of the example which works in both the directions. Okay, so here in your syllabus we are dealing with only resistor for this particular unit. Okay, so resistor will be a bidirectional circuit element. When a network is containing a resistor, such a network is called as bilateral network or bilateral circuit. What is lumped and distributed network? Lumped network. A network in which all the network elements are physically separable is known as the lumped network. Most of the electrical network are lumped in nature. Most of the electrical network are lumped in network. If the network elements are physically separable, right? Physically separable means what? For example, in a network there is one voltage source, there are three resistances. We can physically separate those voltage source, those resistances. Such a network is called as lumped network. Okay, in the reverse, what is distributed network? A network in which circuit elements like resistance, inductance, etc. cannot be physically separable for the analysis purpose is called as distributed network. What is the example of distributed network? The example is transmission line. In a transmission line, for analysis purpose, we cannot distribute the resistance and inductance, right? We didn't intentionally added the resistance and inductance. It is the internal part of the transmission line. We cannot separate a resistance, we cannot separate inductance, capacitance from the transmission line. Such a network in which the circuit elements cannot be physically separable for analysis purpose is called as distributed network. One more is remaining, linear circuit and non-linear circuit. What is linear circuit? The values of the element are always constant. They do not depend on the value of voltage across them or value of current through them. Linear circuit element. What is an example of linear circuit element? Resistance and inductance. The value of the resistance never change when voltage across it or current through it changes. It remains constant. The value of the inductor L, it will never change depending on the voltage and current through it. A network containing resistance, inductance, etc. Such a network is called as linear network or linear circuit. And the elements, resistor and inductor, are called as linear elements. Do remember, resistor is a linear element, bilateral element. Okay. What will be non-linear circuit? The values of the element may change according to the variation in voltage across them or current flowing through them. What is an example? Again, diode, transistor, non-linear resistances are the example. When current through the diode or voltage across diode, the value of the diode gets changes. When voltage is reversed, diode is open circuited. When voltage is in forward bias, the diode is closed circuited. So a circuit containing such non-linear devices, such circuit is called as non-linear circuit. These are the classification of electrical network. What kind of question asked on this particular syllabus? Classify electrical network. When the question is asked for 4 marks, you are expected to classify the electrical network only. Okay. When specifically if it is asked, explain, then you have to explain each one. If the separate question is there, explain linear and non-linear network. You have to explain only linear, non-linear network along with the one example. Okay. When the question asks explain lumped and distributed network, same you have to explain lumped and distributed network along with one example. Explain unilateral bilateral network, explain active and passive network. These might be the questions based on this particular syllabus. The next is energy sources. What are the different energy sources? There are two types of energy sources, voltage source and current source. Under the voltage source, again it is classified as ideal voltage source and practical voltage source. What is the meaning of ideal? We can say it is lossless, loss free. Whatever may be the input, the same will be the output. Such a type of source is called as ideal source. Right? What is practical voltage source? There will be input, there will be output, but the output will be differ from the input. Are you getting? This is ideal voltage source, this is practical voltage source. We are going to see in brief. Next is current source. Ideal current source, practical current source. Again the same. The input current and the output current. When the input current is same as output current, such source is called as ideal current source. When the output current is different than the input current, such source is called as practical current source. Let us see each one by one. An ideal voltage source. An ideal voltage source. Ideal voltage source is one which gives a constant voltage across its terminal irrespective of the current drawn. The symbol for the ideal voltage source will be this E or V. Okay. We can have the voltage versus the current characteristics as I have shown here. Right. This is the supply voltage and this is the voltage across the load or voltage across the output terminal. Let E is the input voltage, let V is the output voltage. Under the ideal voltage source, whatever current this output is taking, but still the voltage across the output terminal V remains constant. Okay, say RL is the load resistance, V is the output voltage. When RL is connected, it is taking I amperes of current. So according to Ohm's law, what is I? It is E divided by RL. Voltage divided by resistance. So V divided by RL. As we are increasing the load, obviously the current demand will increase. But the voltage across the output terminal remains constant. The resistance will decrease, the current will remain constant. According to this equation, V is equal to what? V will be equal to I into RL. As I increases, the resistance will decrease proportionally. Current increases, then automatically the opposing factor will reduce to make this voltage constant. Therefore, you can see here the current is 0, the current is increasing, but the voltage, output voltage V, it is same as the input voltage. It never change. Right? Such voltage source is called as ideal voltage source. Next is practical voltage source. Practical voltage source is nothing but ideal voltage source along with a series internal resistance. Similar to ideal voltage source, there will be a voltage source E, and along with that there will be a resistance connected in series with this voltage source. This resistance is not external resistance. This is internal resistance of this voltage source itself. Okay. Every source has its own internal resistance. Practically it is not possible to have ideal things. Right. There will be a resistance. So that resistance we have to show in series with this voltage source. V is the output voltage. Okay. When the load resistance RL is connected, the I amperes of current flows through this load resistance. What will be the equation of current? As we know that according to Ohm's law, I is equal to voltage divided by resistance. The voltage is, supplied voltage is E, right? Resistance. How many resistance are there in this circuit? In this closed circuit there are two resistance, this internal resistance and this load resistance. And these two resistances are connected in series. Therefore, we have to take the addition of these two. Therefore, I is equal to E divided by internal resistance plus load resistance. Okay. What is voltage available across the output terminal? Voltage is equal to I into R. Okay. What current is flowing through these output terminals? I amperes of current. What is the resistance of this output terminal? RL. Therefore, V is equal to I into RL. Okay. From this equation, E is equal to, this E is equal to I into this resistance path. This we have written here. E is equal to I into bracket Ri plus RL. After expanding the bracket, E is equal to IRI plus IRL. We know that this IRL is equal to what? This IRL is nothing but the voltage source V. Therefore, E is equal to I Ri plus voltage source V. From this equation, what will be voltage? V. This V is equal to E minus of this I into Ri. See, this V is the output voltage. This V is output voltage. This E is input voltage. Ri is the internal resistance which will be fixed. I is the current, output current. Depending on the load demand, this current is going to change. This is only the variable parameter. Okay, this will be changing. You can see here the current. The current is changing from 0 to maximum value. As we increase the load, the current will increase. As the current increases, this factor will increase, IRA. Okay, since E is constant, therefore the voltage, output voltage will reduce. You can see here at 0th, the voltage is nothing but E, supplied voltage. As the load increases, the current increases, this voltage reduces. When current become maximum, the voltage will become 0. Are you getting this? But practically, the safe current limit will be lesser than this maximum limit. Therefore, we have shown the dark line up to here only. Okay, this is not required. This is not desirable to have the maximum current. Okay, when maximum current flows, the circuit becomes short circuited. Next is ideal current source. This is ideal current source. A source which always delivers a constant current equal to its value to the load side, irrespective of the voltage across the load terminals, is called as an ideal current source. You can see here the input source is current source. The input source is current source I, denoted by this arrow sign and the symbol I. When it is open circuited, when the load is open circuited, the resistance will be infinite. Right? When it is closed circuited, there will be some finite resistance. For this finite resistance, some current I flows. That is nothing but the input current. Okay. So, what will be voltage available across this output terminals? It is I into R. As the voltage changes, this current will remain same. You can see here, the voltage is increasing from this 0 to maximum value. But this current remains constant. This current remains constant. This is not changing along with the voltage. So, such an current source is called as ideal current source. Such a current source is called as ideal current source. Okay. The next is practical current source. Practical current source is nothing but ideal current source along with a parallel internal resistance. As I told you, every device has its own internal resistance. So for the current source, that internal resistance is to be shown in parallel with that current source. I is the ideal current source and Ri is the internal resistance of this current source. Okay, so this is the load resistance RL and this is the current flowing through this load resistance. Depending upon this, what will be I? I is equal to I RL divided by Ri plus RL. This is current division rule. Okay, I will clear what is current division rule in next upcoming slides. Okay, so in this, as the resistance changes, the output current will change, the IL will change. Okay, internal resistance is constant, input current is constant. We are changing what? We are changing RL. We are changing voltage across this output terminal. As voltage across the output terminal changes, the current is also changing. Such current source is called as ideal current source. Getting? What question will be asked based on this syllabus? Explain ideal and practical voltage source and explain ideal and practical current source. Okay. Next. What is series circuit and parallel circuit? This is the simplest. Series circuit. When the circuit elements are connected one after another. When the circuit elements are connected one after another. See, there are three circuit elements, resistance 1, 2 and 3. These are connected one after another. Such circuit elements, such circuit is called as series circuit. And we know that in series circuit current remains same, but voltage across each device is different. Say voltage across this resistance is V1, this resistance is V2 and across R3 it is V3. When V is the supply voltage. Then in series circuit, what will be the total resistance? The total resistance is called as equivalent resistance. This resistance will be equal to what? R1 plus R2 plus R3. When the resistances are connected in series, the total resistance will be addition of all the resistances connected in series. What is parallel circuit? In parallel circuit, the devices will be connected in parallel. Here, three resistances R1, R2, R3, they are connected in parallel. Parallel combination means what? There are two terminals of this resistance, first terminal, second terminal. First terminal, second, first, second. When all the one side terminals are connected to one common point. When all the another terminals are connected to one common point. Such connection is called as parallel circuit. What is the characteristics of parallel circuit? The voltage across each parallel circuit element remains constant. V is the supplied voltage. This V is nothing but voltage across R1. V1 is equal to V. Voltage across R2 is V2, which is equal to V. Voltage across R3 is equal to V. This is the characteristics of this parallel circuit. Okay, but say I is the total current supplied from this voltage source. This current split it into different parallel branches. Some current from this I will flow through this resistance R1, say that current is I1. Some current flows through R2, say this current is I2, and some current flows through this R3, say this is I3. So in parallel circuit, voltage remains same, current is different. In series circuit, current remains same, voltage is different. Okay. So how to calculate the equivalent resistance for the parallel circuit? It can be calculated by 1 by R equivalent is equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 plus 1 by R3 and so on. Okay, if there are two resistances only, how to calculate it? Say there is only R1 and R2. Do the calculation. See here, R1 plus R2. We have to multiply this. R1 plus R2 divided by R1 into R2. But here it is 1 divided by R equivalent. Therefore, R equivalent is equal to inverse this side. After inversing, what will happen? It will be R1 into R2 divided by R1 plus R2. Very simple. When there are two resistances, the equivalent resistance will be the product of two resistance divided by the summation of two resistance. Okay. What kind of mistakes usually the student do is, while calculating this R equivalent, You take I divided by R1 plus 1 divided by R1 plus 1 divided by R2, but you forgot to inverse it, since here it is 1 divided by R equivalent. Student usually use the equation R equivalent is equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2, but it is 1 by R equivalent. Do remember this equation. Many a times you do the mistakes right here. So this is what about the series circuit and parallel circuit. These are the characteristics which I have told you right now. Okay. The next is current division formula for the two branches. Very first we require this current division rule while solving the numericals. See, here there are two resistances R1 and R2. Both of them, how they are connected? They are connected in parallel fashion. See, the first, the one terminal of this resistance is connected to one common point. Another terminal of resistance is connected to common point. Such connection will be a parallel connection. Say IT, total current, is supplied to this combination. Say I1 current is flowing through R1, I2 current is flowing through this R2. We need to find out current flowing through this I1 and the current flowing through this I2. So how to calculate it? See, the current flowing through the resistance R1 is I1, which is equal to, this is equal to what? Total current, this total current into opposite resistance. These two resistances are connected in parallel. We need to find out current flowing through this R1. So how to calculate it? Total current into opposite resistor. Opposite resistor is R2 divided by addition of both the resistances connected in parallel, that is R1 plus R2. So this will be I1. Similarly, what will be I2? I2 is equal to what? The total current into opposite resistor R1 divided by addition of this both the resistance. IT into R1, this is the opposite resistor to R2, divided by R1 plus R2. This is current division rule. Let us simplify the network in another way. Consider two resistances are connected in series. Say the resistance one is of 10 ohm, another resistance is of 20 ohm. They are connected one after another, means it is a series combination. How to calculate the total resistance? It will be addition of R1 plus R2. 10 plus 20 is how much? This is 30. Therefore, the resistance between these two terminals is 30 ohm. This is a simple series combination. When the two resistances are connected in parallel, when the two resistances of 10 ohm and 10 ohm are connected in parallel, how to calculate the total resistance R equivalent? It is 1 divided by R equivalent is equal to 1 divided by R1 plus 1 divided by R2. Right? Or I told you when two resistance will be there, how to calculate it? R equivalent is equal to R1 into R2 divided by R1 plus R2. R1 into R2 divided by R1 plus R2, or 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2. But in this example you can see here both the resistances R1 and R2. The value of this R1 is 10 ohm, the value of this R2 is 10 ohm. So 1 by 10 plus 1 by 10. 1 by R1. Instead of writing 1 by R1, here I have taken the inverse. Okay. So 1 divided by 10 plus 1 divided by 10. Inverse. What will be the answer? The answer will be 5. So directly when the two resistances, the value of the two resistances is same, the equivalent resistance will be half of that value. The equivalent resistance will be half of that value. You can directly write it. Okay. This will be 2 divided by 10 inverse. Therefore 10 divided by 2 is equal to 5 ohms. One series resistance. This will be a parallel resistance. This will be a parallel resistance. So there are three resistances connected in parallel. 4 ohm, 6 ohm and 8 ohm. How to calculate the equivalent resistance? 1 divided by R equivalent is equal to 1 divided by R1 plus 1 divided by R2 plus 1 divided by R3. 1 by 4 plus 1 by 6 plus 1 by 8 into inverse. Therefore, R equivalent is equal to, you can solve this simply in your calci. Therefore, the R equivalent is equal to how much? This is equal to 1846 ohms. Very simple. This is the total resistance of these parallel branches. Let us see one more type. Here, two resistances of 20 ohm and 20 ohm are connected in which fashion? They are connected in parallel. They are connected in parallel. And this combination is connected in series with this 15 ohm. How to calculate the parallel combination? Keep this 15 as it is. The resultant of these two will be this resistance. How much will it be? Two resistances of same value. The equivalent resistance will be half of that. So it is 10, 15 ohm as it is. Now you can see these two resistances are in series. Therefore R equivalent is equal to addition of both the resistance. 15 plus 10 is 25 ohms. Next type. These two resistances in series, two resistances parallel, three resistances in parallel, one more resistance in series with the parallel combination. Let us have some values of this. Say the resistance is in parallel 40 ohm, 40 ohm and 20 ohm. 5 ohm, 15 ohm and 40 and 40 ohms. These two are in parallel. Instead of solving all the three, we can resolve it in a different way. The equivalent of this will be 20 ohms, and again here it is 20. We have resolved first these two parallel resistances. Okay. Then this 20 and this 20, again they are in parallel. 20, 20 same. What will be the output resistance? It will be 10, half of that. Okay. Or you can solve it in another way. How you can solve it? 1 divided by R equivalent is equal to 1 by 40 plus 1 by 40 plus 1 by 20. This will take some time. We can do in the same way. The answer will be same. The answer will be 10 only. But this will save your time. This will save your time. So what will be the equivalent resistance of these three parallel circuit is 10 ohms. Now see, these three and this one, fourth one, they are in series. They are connected one after another. Therefore the equivalent resistance will be addition of all these four resistance. Therefore R equivalent is equal to 60 ohms, addition of all the resistances. Let us see one more type. It is asked to find out the resistance between these two terminals. See that resistance 10 ohm and 20 ohm. How they are connected? They are connected in series, one after another. Right? The current through 10 ohm, 20 ohm is same. Therefore, add them. After adding this, what is your answer? 10 plus 20, it is 30. Okay. Here again it is 30. So how the circuit is? It is a parallel circuit. How the circuit is? It is parallel circuit. So 30 parallel with 30. What will be the answer? How to calculate it? When two resistances connected in parallel having the similar value, the R equivalent is equal to half of that value, that is 15 ohms. You can directly write it. Let us draw one more complex circuit. One question 100% asked on this network simplification, series parallel combination, and this is very simple one. Suppose this is the complex network. We have to find out the resistance between these two terminals. How to calculate it? First, we'll resolve these three resistances. How they are connected? The current through them is same. See, the current flowing through 10, 20 and 30 is same, means they are connected in series combination. When they are connected in series combination, how to calculate their equivalent? It is addition of all the three. 10 plus 20 plus 30 is how much? 60 ohms. Therefore, it is 60 ohms. Now you can see the 60 and 60. They are connected in parallel. So what will be their equivalent? Their equivalent will be half of that, because the value is same. So it is 30 ohms. Now 10, 30, 20, they are connected in series. Therefore the equivalent resistance will be 60 ohms. 10 plus 30 plus 20. Simple. You may say how complex the circuit is, but after reducing one by one, the circuit will become very simple. It is a simple one. Okay. Okay. How to start solving this one? You can see here 15 ohm and 5 ohm. This 15 and this 5, they are connected in series. For the sake of simplicity, you can even name it. Name the points. Okay, 15 and 5, they are connected in series, and the combination is in parallel with 20 ohms. First 15 plus 20 will give you 20 ohms. 15 plus 20 will give you 20 ohms. This is D terminal and this terminal is E terminal. Okay, between D and E 20 ohms, and this is 15 and this is 5. Okay, now D C terminal, between D and C terminal, you can see here between D and C terminal 30 ohm, between D and C 30 ohm. So here it is 30 ohm. At D point 5 ohm is also connected, A point, up to A point. So between D and A it is 5 ohm. Then this 20 ohm is connected between B and C. This 20 between B and C. This is how we can simplify this network. Between A and B 40 ohm is connected, and here at this terminal 30 and this is. Now these two are in series. Therefore 15 plus 5 is 20. So this is 20 ohms. Now this 20 is in parallel with this 20 ohm. Both the resistances are having same value. Therefore the equivalent will be 10 ohms. Now this 30, 20. They are not connected in series, right? Some current will go through this point, but you can see here this 10 ohm is connected in series with this 20. The same current will flow from 10 and 20. They are connected one after another. Therefore, take the addition of these two, 10 and 20. How much will it be? 10 plus 20, it is 30. Plus 20, they are in series. We have just replaced this 20 right here, so that you can easily say they are in series. There is no another branch, there is no another point between 10 and 20, therefore it is 30. So you can see here this is 30. Now this 30 ohm is connected in parallel with 30 ohms. 30 parallel with 30, the resultant will be 15 ohms, half of that. Now 5, 15, 20. They are connected one after another, means series combination. So 5 plus 15 plus 20 will be how much? It will be 40 ohms. Now 40 and 40 again they are in parallel. So how much will be resultant? Half of 40 will be 20 ohms. Now the resistance between these two open terminal will be 30, 20, 50. They are in series. Therefore the total resistance will be 30 plus 20 plus 50 is 100 ohms. For this particular syllabus, hope you understood the same. One more numerical I have given for the homework. Okay, try to solve it. Okay, all the best.